I was feeling. Do not compare. Do not come up with those stupid stories. Okay, I know you went through loss. I know you are going through grief, but allow me go through this journey. Yeah, and whether it has no manual, you're not going to tell me like by now by now it's like 1.5 years now. No, my mom passed in September, so we're in July, so it's like 2 months to it's almost 2 years. And by then, let me tell you, I still feel it's fresh. It's just like a movie. It happened like 2 weeks ago. Mm? And you're here telling me, okay, you should have moved on by now. You should have accepted by now. Huh? Kindly be considerate when you're giving those two advices also. I am. There was someone who came to me, also a close friend of mine, but I forgave her because I think she was doing out of a good heart. She told me like, I don't like the way your brother posts your mom speak every time, all lamenting, crying, oh mom, oh mom. But I respect that. I am the sister and I respect that. If that will make him feel good, iko sawa. Let me tell you, my bro posts my mom like almost. Hello, welcome to Raising My Siblings YouTube channel by Shaba. My name is Shaba and I'm raising my siblings. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about something, I don't want to say interesting, something so sensitive. And this is something that we have not been taught in the society, but I'm here to teach you today. I don't know how this video will go because I'm sure of the emotions, but I will try as much as possible not to. And I am hoping you will pick one or two things from the discussion, not the discussion, what I'm going to share today. So today's topic, we are going to talk about things you do not have to tell, things you don't tell someone who is going through grief, who is mourning. Yeah, I know. This is a very sensitive topic that we have not been taught. So before we go into this topic, kindly, those who have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so. Like, share. Thank you, by this so much for those people who have been sending me encouraging messages. I am okay, and that is why I'm here to share my journey of raising my siblings. So thank you so much for those who have taken their time to subscribe. Please share this video widely. Okay. Okay, so Shaba happens to be a teenage teacher in her church. I am a teenage teacher in my church, and there's this one question, there's this topic we were tackling. It was about grief, and I asked my students, what is that one thing that you fear the most? And 95%, in fact, of them were telling me like they fear death of their loved ones. And so that was a good start of our class that day. And the second question I asked them is, what would you tell someone or a friend of yours, a best friend of yours who has lost his or her mom? So I got funny answers. There are some who said they will tell them that they have to forget about about the past. There are some who said they will say nothing. So I got funny answers, and I was like, oh my god, we need to teach people what they have to say and not to say to a person who is grieved. And here I am. I am still going through grief. I lost my mom, and there are some of the things that I was told till now. I I think I still hold kagrudge. Mm? Kagrudge. I'm saying kagrudge because maybe those people had good intentions. They thought they were comforting me. They didn't think they were hurting me that time. So this is the time that I am sharing this, and count yourself lucky if you come across this video. Okay. So number one, mm, you have to know that whatever you're saying, you're dealing with someone who is sensitive, someone who is angry, someone who is overwhelmed. Okay, so you have to be careful by the choice of words that you're using. And if you're not in a position to advise, I'll say just be there, just be present. Eh? It's better you say nothing. Eh? Just be present, akuone tu uko hapo hivyo. Okay, so number one, my experience, it was number one, people were forcing me to accept. For God's sake, I've lost my mom. I've lost someone who is so dear to my heart. Then you're just like telling me, you have to just accept and forget. And I remember during the first anniversary, there was this pastor who was who was giving his speech, and he was like, "I am so happy, uh, Sharon, Shaba, and the family accepted." Who told you I accepted? You don't have to force that person to accept, because this is a journey. It's not just like, okay, she's died, now we have to forget about her. No, 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 no. Because number one, you do not understand what that person is going through, and then you have to acknowledge that, you know what, I do not understand what you're going through, and respect that whatever she's feeling at that moment. Okay. Number two, mm, there's there are those people who were telling me not to cry. Okay, you're telling me not to cry. Do you know what I'm feeling? Huh? Please do not like prevent, or like in your comforting way tell people who are grieved that, okay, do not cry, sijui blah blah. No. In fact, there was someone who was telling me, you're the firstborn, now you're crying, your siblings are watching. Eh? Sasa unawamaliza nguvu. Who told you? Okay, this is my mom. I know they're my siblings, I know they're my younger ones, but I have a right to cry. So that is something, please, that is something so insensitive. Hmm? Yeah. Number three, there's someone who told me ati yaliyopita si ndwele tugange yajayo. I know, okay, I know you went to school, you learnt about, is it vitendawili or methali? Yeah, methali. You learnt about methali, and it was your time to shine, but that was the wrong place to shine. Mm? Meaning, like, okay, yaliyopita si ndwele. This person, like, her death didn't affect you in any way. So you're telling me yaliyopita si ndwele. That was so bad of you. Another thing, and this was something someone close told me, was, hey, ati now you have to delete all your mom's pics in your phone, like you have to delete all her recordings. Because now she's a past tense, so you just record. So let me tell you, when you're grieved, the memories you had with that person in form of pictures, in form of videos, those are the only things you're remaining with. So you're telling me, ati I delete those pictures. It was so insensitive of you, and it was someone so close to me. I know you had good intentions, but that didn't help. Okay, it's like you're treating that nini. You are treating my mom as a taboo. Like, I know she does not exist, and I don't have to talk about her. I don't have to see her anywhere. And let me tell you, if there is something that has helped me a lot, are those two videos that I took with my mom. There are those two, what do we call, photos, the recordings. Those are the things that make me feel like, okay, my mom si ati ako mbali sana, she's just near us, she's watching over me and my siblings. So when you're telling me to delete all those pics, anyway, it's okay, you didn't know, but now you know. In case you come across this video and you gave me that advice, huh? Subscribe to this YouTube channel. I then hey, this one, I don't know. You know, when someone is going through grief, especially at the first moment, not even especially, do not try to like shift their focus or shift to what they're concentrating on. If they want to think about their beloved ones, let them think about them. So there was this relative of mine, like an auntie I didn't know. So it's that morning, she's like, Sharon, come. So she's introducing herself. Okay, it's good to introduce yourself. Okay, I'm auntie so and so, and I'm sorry about this, but do you know what she told me? She started like that introduction, what is it called? I am the cousin of your blah, and I went to school in this, in this. I schooled in this university, and I was with your dad in the same school. But blah 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 blah. And this is my sister. This is my what. This is my what. And mark you, that is a distant relative telling me that. So I was like, do you know this is not the right moment to come up with those stories of yours? Couldn't you wait for? Couldn't you wait for like an introduction meeting? Huh? So I felt bad about it, but that is common sense. That is just common sense. I have lost my mom. Here I am. I'm the firstborn with my siblings. Instead of telling me something constructive, like, I'm a lecturer in this campus, and since I have been told you have passion in being a lecturer, I can help you, blah 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 blah. If you Not you coming and telling me the whole, like, you're lining up all your sisters, your bros. You're like, she took like, I think, 30 minutes to introduce herself, just doing the background check on her, not background check, like telling me her background in her education, the way she's the only one who has succeeded in that family. Oh, blah 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 blah. That was so bad. So there are some things that we say, we mean good, but not necessary. So I'll advise that be careful what you utter to someone who is going through grief. Hmm? Before I continue, I want you to comment down below if you have uh, if you have undergone loss, if you have lost a loved one, and people came to you with insensitive advices, sensitive, sorry, not insensitive, sensitive advices. They're like, oh, blah blah, and you just felt it was not necessary at that time. Kindly comment comment down below. I want to hear. um I number, I don't know, but I'm just like Nini, I don't know the number that I am in, but there's one who asked me, like, I remember it was barely even 40 minutes after I received the news, Then there is someone calling me around like 4:30. I think I learned about the news at 4 a.m. Then at 4:30, this uncle of mine calls me and is like, "What happened? Like, tell me." I also don't know what is happening. I also don't know what is going on. I don't believe if I've lost my mom. Then you are there asking me what happened. I was not the right person to ask at that moment. At Asai, when you ask me what happened, I cannot tell you because still I'm not okay talking about it. And you're telling me barely 40 minutes after I received the news. Hey, people, kindly. Sometimes be considerate, okay? Okay. Then there is another one. Uh, there's there's another one who was telling me like I understand what you're feeling. I understand what you're feeling. What do you mean? What do you understand? Let me tell you, you have no idea what I'm going through. You have no idea what I went through. You may have lost a loved one, but let me tell you, experiences are different. And this grief comes in like waterfalls. There's a time like you feel like, oh, I cannot like go live in the next minute. Like I cannot survive. But there's a time you're calm and you're like, okay, it has happened. Then you're coming telling me, oh, I understand. You are not. And that is something so sensitive when you're telling someone. It is so mean. And there's some who come up with stories that moment even when I lost my mom, when I lost my bro, this is how I was feeling. Do not compare. Do not come up with those stupid stories. Okay, I know you went through loss. I know you are going through grief, but allow me go through this journey. Yeah, and whether it has no manual, you're not going to tell me like by now by now it's like 1.5 years now. No, my mom passed in September, so we're in July, so it's like 2 months to it's almost 2 years. And by then, let me tell you, I still feel it's fresh. It's just like a movie. It happened like 2 weeks ago. Mm? And you're here telling me, okay, you should have moved on by now. You should have accepted by now. Huh? Kindly be considerate when you're giving those two advices also. I am. There was someone who came to me, also a close friend of mine, but I forgave her because I think she was doing out of a good heart. She told me like, I don't like the way your brother posts your mom speak every time, all lamenting, crying, oh mom. But I respect that. I am the sister and I respect that. If that will make him feel good, iko sawa. Let me tell you, my bro posts my mom like almost every day. That worked for him, but for me, I don't, because it has not yet sunk in my head that my mom passed. Okay, so what I did to protect my space, I had to block. Not really block that WhatsApp where you like exempt, you exempt your nini, that settings where you set like you don't view someone's status. So I don't view my brother's status, because when I view, it will make me feel bad. It will take me to square zero again. Eh? So he is in that stage where he can freely post. I am in that stage where I can now talk about my mom. Are we together? So let's understand. Let's be good to people. Hmm? And especially when you have not experienced loss, then you will not. be in a position to understand what I'm telling you right now. Let me just laugh because, hey, the advices that you people give, hey, I have no words, but I can tell you, I can say this. For me, I suggest that this grief topic be introduced in school curriculum and in churches, where you just have to tackle about grief, because it cuts across. You may find like older people telling you sensitive things, young people telling you sensitive things. So what does this mean? We are not taught how to comfort people, what to and what not to tell people who are undergoing grief, hmm? Are experiencing loss. So that is my suggestion, and I hope in my church we introduced that segment where we just talk about grief and loss. Yeah. And I bless God because I was the one who taught that topic, because I because let me say, I just learned a lot from my mom's death. Hiya. Let me see. We are at 19. Okay. The next one is let me see. Forcing people to talk about it. Forcing people to talk about it. And I remember, I won't mention the school. I am a victim of this because I remember I was I don't want to say high school or primary. So there's this lady who had lost her mom. She was not my friend, but I was this person who really wanted to offer a shoulder to lean on. So I went to her. I was like, tell me, can you tell me what happened? Yeah? Tell me what happened. How how are you feeling? By then I was among those people till this the worst thing happened to me. It's when now I realized, oh, I made a mistake. Eh? So when I asked that lady about her mom's passing, she was not comfortable telling me by then, but thank God I respected that. Mm. I didn't like force her into telling me what happened. So you may find there are some people who, yeah, they're your friends, then they're so curious. Take your curious to your village. Take your curiosity to your village. You're not coming to force me to tell you what I'm not comfortable talking about. And I respect all my friends and all my relatives, because I have not been in a situation where they're like, okay, sasa wewe kulienda aje? Hmm? Kulienda aje? I only talk about my mom's passing with my siblings. I am comfortable talking about her with my siblings, even not my dad. You can imagine I don't talk to my dad about my mom's passing. And who are you? Who are you? You see the way people who are experiencing loss go through a lot. Mm? Someone is not in a position of speaking about it. Then there are some who are advisors who are like, just talk about her. The more you talk about her, the more you feel free, the more you let go. Who told you? There's sometimes I am free talking about my mom, like now, and there's sometimes I just don't want to talk about her. Hmm? This is someone that I have been with for over 20 years. Then you're telling me that, okay, when you talk about her, when you talk about her, you let her go. How? Then there are some people, another advice is at the time heals. Time heals. Have you ever found people who like they have gone into depression? They have sunk deep into depression after like even 5 years they could not like recover from the loss of their loved ones. Huh? And I remember there's a story my spiritual mom in church told me. Like there's this friend of hers, um, friend of hers who lost her husband. The husband was a lawyer. So when the husband died, the lady could not recover from that shock. So number one, she had to quit her job because she wasn't in a position like to go to work. You can imagine. So she stayed like over 10 years and she sunk deep into depression. Despite her going for counseling, she didn't like accept and recover. And she ran mad. So unfortunate. And you can imagine that I can imagine what she was feeling. Hmm? I thank God I have not sunk into depression, like deep into depression, because I am a woman of faith. I go to church and I believe the teachings of the church. And I have seen the grace of God carrying me to this to where I am today. So so unfortunate. I'm sorry about what happened to her. But then what people who are grieved feel, the feeling, it's not something you just like take it like lightly, or you just take it for like granted. Especially for me, let me tell you, I had not lost like someone close to me except my grandmother, even not my uncles. No, I had lost my uncles, but someone in my family, and the first person is my mom. You can imagine the feeling. And furthermore, there are these young ones. You're the firstborn. Your identity is cornered because you're the firstborn now. That pressure that comes with it, then you're telling me you're nonsense. Hmm? So please, again, I say, be mindful of what you are telling, or you're talking to someone who is grieved. Higher. Mm, I know there's this one which may sound okay, which may sound like okay, comforting, but I think it's not. That they are in a better place. Ah, I know. I am a woman of faith. I go to church. But you're telling me they're in a better place. Okay, meaning her staying with us was a mistake, and it is a favor that God has done for her to go to heaven and leaving us just like that. Huh? Eh, eh. Let me just laugh, because when I don't, I will like break down here. Ati they're in a better place. Okay, sawa sawa, nimekusikia. I There's this another advice. I don't know. It's a cliche. Ati ati everything happens for a reason, and it is she died like she died so that the name of the Lord can be glorified through you. Ah, she died because his name can be glorified. Okay, my question here is, okay, it's not bad, but okay, everything happens for a reason. What reason? Okay, tell me what reason. Hmm? And why did it, if it's for the glory of God, then why did it pick my family? Why not your family? Yeah, the one you're telling me. Why not your family? Why didn't it come to your family so that the name of the Lord can be glorified through your family? Hmm? So there are some things that, hey, let me tell you, when it's good when I was being told those things, I didn't pay so much attention to it because I had like this bigger thing that I was dealing with. So after like some months, it's when now I started thinking of what people were telling me, and I was like, huh? To glorify the name of the Lord, everything happens for a reason and a purpose? No, that is not right. That is according to me. Higher, there is another one. Ati they are not in pain anymore. For example, when maybe they succumb to illness. I know. Do you know it is better off you see your person in that sick bed? Do you know that it is better you see your person in that sick bed than seeing her in a casket? Let that sink. So it's better I see my mom suffer in that bed, but he can still talk to me and breathe. Because there's a verse that says, there's a Bible verse that says, as long as we live, there is hope. So me clinging on that Bible verse, of course I'll be hopeful that okay, mom will get better someday. But you telling me carelessly that they're not in pain anymore, hey, that was not right. For whoever told me that, it was not right. But if you're the one and you come across this YouTube channel, you come across this video, subscribe. Subscribe and you share. Then um, then there are some who are emotional. They are more emotional than the one who is bereaved, and when they come there they cry. Then they are like, oh yeah, sasa utafanya nini, what will you do now? So I'll advise, if you are like, it's better you be there for them, but not at a word, because you're making them like feel like if they were feeling worse at 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 90%, then it will escalate to 120%, because they're like, if you're not bereaved and you're crying this much, what about me? Hmm? What about me? So these are just the lessons. There are very many, and there's this one. Hey, blame games, blame games, blame games, blame games. Hey, let me just address this while I'm seated. And this comes from the relatives, but I thank God this didn't happen to me. I thank God for my relatives. So relatives come to the burial. Of course, there is mom's side and dad's sides. I'll use the example of my family, but take note, not my relatives. So because it's my mom who has died, so the mom's side feels they have lost. They're like, they have lost more. They're undergoing a loss that is of a higher degree than the dad's side. Not forgetting their kids there, their kids there. There's a spouse there who is like undergoing like 200% of the pain. Mm? So you may find in most families, the relatives, like, they gang against the member of the other side of the family. Then this ends up splitting the family into like two Or just like, for example, in our family, we maybe lean on my mom's side because, we are like, hey, nyinyi watu wa kina baba, you've not lost, so you're not feeling what we are. So I'd advise in this, like, for families, please come together. A loss is a loss. It has happened. I know it has happened. So come together and see how you can help these kids instead of like kuleta vurugu vurugu hapo katikati. And it happens in most families, and that's why, especially when a mom dies in a family, then that family cannot stand, because all of you know a mom is a dad is the head of the family, and the mom is the pillar of the family. So you can imagine that pillar being removed from the family. Hmm? So people are there building their families, eh? They are growing. Then you hear relatives have come into your family, and you're like, you're taking this side or this side. So I'll advise, even for the siblings who have lost their parents, please, it is the time now to be united. It's not time like now to like, okay, by the way, wewe ulikuanga hupendi mama yangu, so from today, si tumemalizana hiyo ukovi, because my mom is not alive, tumemalizana hiyo uko, you go your way. So that is not a proper way. Advice to the siblings, it is the time to stay united, because that is the family, the only family that you have, your siblings. Okay. Then there is this one that, hey, this was the worst, but I am I I am thankful that it didn't like hit me at that moment. So let me tell you, in Luyaland, in Luyaland, I don't know what happens, but someone doesn't just die a normal death. Even if you are sure this person had like died of this disease, there are those like tuchumfi they will add, and just like to create blame games. They're like, hey, unajua ni nani alimroga? This one bewitched this lady, that's why she passed. So there are those stories. But then you coming to the kids, telling the kids that story at that moment, that was not fair. It is not fair if you are one of them. You're like, hey, by them mnajua nyinyi mama yenu hakukufa tu natural death, alifanyiwa kitu fulani na fulani. Not necessary. Okay, even if you have to say that, then the kids are not the right people, or the spouse or the widow or the widower, they're not the right people to talk to about that. You can tell your fellow villagers about it, but then coming to narrowing down to the kids, it is so mean. Okay. Then I think the last one, hey, villagers, my village, the people in my village, muache udaku, muache udaku. You know, there's this lady that time who approached me, and she was like, you're now of age and your mom has passed, and you're like the mom. Now, when are we expecting someone? What? When are we expecting someone, and there is this whole thing that I'm dealing with? Then there is this another thing where I have now to wear the shoes of my mom to become the mom to my siblings. And you're telling me, when are you getting married? When are you bringing our son? But let me tell you, I didn't spare that one. I put her in her place, because I felt she was not respecting what I was feeling at that moment. And hata sai, who are you to ask me when I'm bringing your son? When I'm like getting married? Who are you? I think it's only my dad who is in a position to end. First of all, my dad. when I've not brought to you someone? Huh? Meaning I have my own reasons. Okay? So if my dad cannot ask me such a question, who are you? Mwache udaku. Especially not especially, but it happens a lot. But there's some udaku. There's another udaku that that I'm telling you. Okay, of course there are these like the things that they attach to someone's death, like okay, huyu kukufa natural death. So my aunt was in a group. She was in the kitchen. My aunt, then she was like with the other two ladies there. Then the ladies were like, "Eh, unajua mama Aneti, oh blah blah blah, hakukufa, alienda huko Nairobi akapata msichana wake akashtuka blah blah," and you know it is all lies. So my aunt had my aunt, thank you so much, Mama Pauline. She came to me and she was like, Sharon, the devil comes in many ways. And you may think this is the worst that has happened, but it's not. So I know you have lost your mom, and it is now time for you like to go through that process. But then there are these things that you will hear. They are not pleasing. Please, my daughter, do not react on those things. Focus on what is important to you right now, and that is your siblings and you. So I asked her, what are they saying? They're like, do you know they are saying blah blah 1 2 3 1 2 3? Ah, my village people, I forgive you. I forgive you. And there's this one who said like, at my sister, at my sister, ati my sister alitaka kujitupa kwa mto huko hivyo. And my sister is there. I'm asking, Harriet, ati nasikia umetaka kwenda kujitupa kwa mto huko. She's like, oh my God, saa ngapi na nimekuwa hapa? So there's some things that, okay, I appreciate your presence in the in that whole like ceremony or whatever happened, Nona. But then please do not come and add salt to injury. Are we together? So these are the things that, let me tell you, when I sit down and think about it, because it's me, I cannot cry because I understand people. I understand where they're coming from. Some did have good intentions for me, but then I can imagine, what if my sister hears about them? Eh? My sister gets to know what they were saying. But then the good thing is, what I did as the firstborn. So as a family, we sit down, just like a random, we're just making stories, and I'm like you, I make it jokingly, like, hey, do you remember this and this said this and this? Oh, this and this. So those two comments, it does not come to them like, by the way, you know, she's this one said this, huyu akasema hii, huyu akasema hii, huyu akasema hii, like we just like tunasema like jokes, then we laugh about it at the end of it, and and it ceases to become a big deal. So that is it. Hey, that is it for today. The thing is, teach your kids, especially when they're growing up, when they're in teenagehood. Teach your kids what to say and what not to say, yeah, to their friends who have lost their young ones. In churches, teach the church members, because you may find a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old making some comments, not deliberate, and you're like, really? But let's not blame each other. I hope you have learned one or two things. I hope you're in a position now to avoid some things. So our next video will be about what to tell or say or comfort, the things to say to a person who is experiencing loss. Are we together? I do not want to say I hope you've enjoyed this video, because there is nothing to enjoy. It is just some lessons you have to pick from the video. There is nothing to enjoy at all. But I am hoping it has taught you one or two things. You have picked some lessons. And I like to interact with you in the comment section. What are the things that you were told that you felt, oh, this was so mean? And what are those things that you felt, okay, I needed to hear this from someone? I needed to hear this from someone. And as I finish up, I can say people going through grief are so sensitive. They're so sensitive, and be careful, be mindful of what you're speaking. I know we all want to help one way or another, but then let's be thoughtful, let's be mindful of what we are telling our loved ones, our friends, our relatives. Let's be mindful. Okay? So bye bye for today. Bye bye for today. This is my outfit for the day. I am smart. I have been smart just to come tell you what not to tell people who are undergoing or who are experiencing loss. So bye bye for today. See you in the next video. Bye.